All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It's Thursday. You know what that means. Say it with me. It is Thirsty Thursday. For those of you who are thirsty, it is Thursday. Haven't been around since last Friday, Octane Friday. Van Halen 1. Listened to that many, many times. After that, so good. What are we talking about today? 40th anniversary. There's a lot of 40th anniversaries this year. 1984, what a great year in music. So, of course, we're talking about the band The Smiths. You already read that. Put out their debut record this week in 84, February 20th. Some of you know the story of The Smiths. Manchester, England, formed in 1982. Morrissey and Johnny Marr met at a Patti Smith concert, hit it off, thought of the same music and music likes, and ended up forming a band. Andy Rourke, Mike Joyce. There was some lineup changes early on, but that's your core right there. The Smiths put out 4 albums in total as far as studio albums from 84 to 87. And then they had a bunch of compilations that would throw some extra tracks on there, or different like makeup of different albums or greatest hits and then released in the United States. So that's why it's hard to keep track. But they got their demo together in 1982, shopped it around. EMI said no. And then finally they get the attention of a small label, Rough Trade Records. They said, well, we'll cut a single for you. And they cut Hand in Glove, which sold quite well and really picked up steam for them. And then John Peel picked it up and played it on there. And if you got played on the John Peel sessions, you were pretty much on your way. And they had also another single, just a one-off single, This Charming Man, which we'll get back to in a second. The album, again, put out this record. They were working on their debut. They had this one producer. They had it all done, shopped the record to the label, and they said, no, we don't like the way this thing is put together. We want you to use a different producer. So they re-recorded it, and that's what you hear. And the critics loved it. The listeners loved it. Went up to number 2 in the UK. Spent 33 weeks on the chart. That album cover is Andy Warhol movie. It's a still movie scene from a movie called Flesh. And they were kind of known for their album covers, weren't they? I mean, Meat is Murder in particular. But this record, again, they weren't. They are considered to be like really, really early alternative music, but without synthesizers. This was still guitar driven, still drums, still the interesting lyrics with Morrissey's voice. You think he's singing something happy, and you're listening to the words, and you're like, oh, he's talking about getting hit by a bus or being in a coma or whatever. Anyway, so this was well received. In the United States, tougher. I mean, college radio, I did not hear any of these records from the Smiths. I've talked about that. But there's no way I would have had any access to this music, because remember, no digital stuff. And you would only hear it on college radio, or unless you walked into a record store and they happened to be playing it, or you had an older friend that liked it and played it. So I saw the covers, and we all thought they were punk records. We all thought they were something that was just so far out of the stratosphere and maybe loud, and I don't know. I think we all thought maybe it was the Sex Pistols or something, and certainly the music is nothing like that. And it makes me wonder what if someone actually had played the music for me, what I would have thought. But hey, 84, I was listening to Corey Hart, Thompson Twins, Billy Idol, that kind of stuff. So maybe I just wouldn't have been into it. But this music is so amazing. I love the Smiths. I can't wait to cover them again, even. And Morrissey. A lot of people get confused between Smith songs and Morrissey solo stuff. That's to be expected. But the songs on this one, what difference does it make? Awesome song. Love this. This is a great song. They added This Charming Man. So they added that single to the UK cassette and the US LP and cassette, but it was not on the UK vinyl. And that's all there was out there, by the way, people. So, but that one was not on there. And This Charming Man, it's got that calypso beginning where you're like, oh, it's kind of like party music. But some other great songs in there. They put Hand in Glove on there. Reel Around the Fountain, Miserable Love, Still Ill, Suffer Little Children. A little bit. That's a perfect Smith song to end an album. Oh, Pretty Girls Make Graves. See, and even the names of their songs. But there's a lot of great music here. And it sounds like the Smiths. It's the Smith sound right from the beginning. They are who they are right out of the gate. Those 4 albums, 84 to 87, except for those greatest hits that got mixed all around. But this was a fantastic debut record for the Smiths. And I'd love to hear from people who are Smiths fans right out of the beginning of when they heard them when they were in college. Did anyone listen to them in high school? Weirdos. No, just kidding. But no, I do love the Smiths now, and I can't wait to even talk more about them. But your song of the day is "What Difference Does It Make?" That's the one you're playing today. Crank that one up. Play yourself some Smiths. You know what the job is today. That's your assignment should you choose to accept it. And whatever you're doing today, I hope it involves music. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.